What if I told you there's one specific mineral deficiency that is secretly paralyzing your performance and physically hardening your veins, while your doctor likely ignores it entirely? Here is the clinical truth, that major pharmaceutical companies are desperate to keep out of your search results and off your social media feed. Over 68% of men over the age of 40 are walking around today critically and dangerously low in a specific mineral that acts as the ultimate biological unclogger for the delicate vascular tissues in your body. A landmark clinical trial just exposed something absolutely revolutionary. Men who optimized this specific mineral saw a 54% increase in erectile quality, vein elasticity, and blood flow in less than 90 days. And I'm not talking about some blue pill that comes with a laundry list of cardiac side effects, vision problems, and dependency. I'm talking about an essential element that Big Pharma cannot put a patent on, which is exactly why it was never discussed at your last physical appointment. Today, I am pulling back the curtain on the #1 mineral doctors quietly take themselves to keep their circulation youthful and their veins elastic. What you're about to see will change the way you think about men's health forever. Pay close attention, because the biological calcification process we're discussing is not just a death sentence, it is reversible. To understand why this mineral is the only real solution, we have to look at the cold, hard physics of blood flow. Most people think of a clog as a ball of fat or a lump of cholesterol, but in the tiny 1 millimeter vessels that control male performance, the clog is often mineral-based. When you are deficient in our master mineral, your body loses its biological ability to manage calcium. Instead of calcium going to your bones and teeth, where it belongs, it begins to leak into your soft tissues. It settles into the smooth muscle cells of your veins. This creates a condition known as vascular calcification, a literal hardening of the middle layer of your vessels. When these vessels harden, they can no longer expand. Imagine trying to blow air into a glass tube versus a rubber balloon. No matter how much nitric oxide you pump into your system, with supplements or drugs, if the vessel is petrified by calcium deposits, it cannot dilate. This is why so many men find that performance drugs stop working. After a few years, they aren't treating the stoning of the veins, they are just trying to force a frozen valve to open. Our mineral magnesium, specifically in its chelated bisglycinate form, is the only substance capable of acting as a natural calcium channel blocker. It is the biological antagonist to calcium. It tells the tiny muscles in your veins to relax or die. Magnesium bisglycinate isn't like the magnesium oxide you find in cheap, chalky multivitamins. That form has a bioavailability of about 4%, meaning 96% of it ends up in the toilet. We are talking about magnesium, bound to the amino acid glycine. This allows it to bypass the standard digestive hurdles and enter your bloodstream at a cellular level. Once inside, it triggers a process that I call vascular scrubbing. It activates a specific protein known as matrix Glar protein, or MGP. MGP is the most powerful inhibitor of soft tissue calcification currently known to medical science. But here is the catch: MGP is magnesium dependent. If you are deficient, MGP sits idle while calcium builds up like scale inside an old water pipe. When you flood your system with the correct dose of magnesium bisglycinate, you are essentially turning on the janitors. These proteins begin to pull calcium out of the penile veins, out of the carotid arteries, and out of the heart valves. This isn't just about intimacy, it's about systemic restoration. Recent research demonstrated that men who corrected their magnesium deficiency saw a 45% improvement in endothelial function within just 12 weeks. Your endothelium is the thin membrane lining your blood vessels. It's the brain of the vein. When it's unclogged and flexible, it produces a surge of nitric oxide naturally, without the need for synthetic stimulants. If you are one of the millions of men struggling with type 2 diabetes or insulin resistance, this mineral is even more critical for you. Diabetes creates what I call a mineral death spiral. High blood sugar levels force the kidneys to work overtime. As the kidneys flush excess glucose out of your body, they accidentally flush out your magnesium stores along with it. This is why 76% of diabetics are critically deficient. As your magnesium levels drop, insulin resistance increases. Magnesium is a required cofactor for the insulin receptor to work. Without it, your cells lock their doors, leaving sugar in your blood. Vascular stiffness accelerates because with no magnesium to stop it, calcium floods into your veins, clogging the blood flow to your extremities. Even nerve damage or neuropathy takes root because magnesium shields the myelin sheath of your nerves. By introducing therapeutic doses of magnesium bisglycinate, we are breaking this cycle. We aren't just lowering blood sugar, we are re-greasing the cellular machinery. When you unclog the veins in your pelvic floor, you aren't just fixing one local problem. You are repairing the entire 60,000-mile highway of your circulatory system. Your heart is a muscle that never stops. To contract, it uses calcium. To relax, it uses magnesium. If you are magnesium-starved, your heart stays in a state of semi-contraction. This leads to high blood pressure and atrial fibrillation. By restoring your mineral balance, you reduce arterial stiffness by up to 30%. This reduces the workload on your heart, lowering your physiological age by a decade or more. And there is a massive testosterone connection. Most men take testosterone boosters that do absolutely nothing, because their testosterone is bound to a protein called SHBG. Bound testosterone is useless. It's like having $1 million in a bank account you can't access. Magnesium lowers the stickiness of SHBG, unbinding your testosterone and making it free and bioactive. This means more energy, more muscle mass, and a significantly higher libido, all from a mineral, not a hormone. Vascular health is also brain health. If your penile veins are clogged with calcium, your cerebral arteries likely are too. Magnesium is the original chill pill. It regulates the GABA receptors in your brain, reducing cortisol, the stress hormone. High cortisol is a known libido killer. By lowering stress and improving cerebral blood flow, you regain the mental drive that is just as important as the physical flow. But most doctors only run a serum magnesium test. This is almost entirely useless. 99% of your magnesium is stored inside your cells and bones. Only 1% is in your blood. Your body will rob your cells to keep that blood level stable. You can have a normal blood test while your veins are literally starving for minerals. You must look for the clinical red flags, the delayed response, where the desire is there, but the machinery is slow, the disappearance of nightly cycles, cold hands and feet, and persistent muscle twitches. You cannot simply eat an extra salad and expect to unstone your veins. You need a targeted protocol. For vascular reversal, I recommend 400 milliliters to 800 milliliters of magnesium bisglycinate daily. It is best taken in divided doses, half in the morning to support vascular elasticity throughout the day, and half before bed to support the nightly repair cycle, where your body does its most intense vascular cleaning. To truly unclog the veins, magnesium needs a partner, vitamin K2 in the MK7 form. While magnesium activates the cleaning crew, vitamin K2 acts as the GPS. It tells the calcium exactly where to go. Magnesium pulls it out of the veins, and K2 drives it into the bone matrix. Without K2, the calcium might just settle elsewhere. Adding 3 mg to 6 mg of boron further increases magnesium absorption and skyrockets your free testosterone levels. Modern industrial farming has left our soil depleted. We are eating hollow food. You would have to eat 5 large spinach salads every single day just to reach the minimum daily requirement. This is why supplementation is mandatory. I tell my patients, give me 90 days of mineral consistency. Vascular calcification didn't happen overnight. It took years of sugar and stress to stone your veins. It will take roughly 3 months to see the full re-elasticity of your vascular system. In the first 30 days, your sleep improves and blood pressure stabilizes. By day 60, the morning response returns. By day 90, you hit the unclogging threshold, where ultrasound shows the veins are physically more flexible, and blood flow velocity is restored to peak levels. You don't have to accept a stiff future. You don't have to be a victim of a medical system that prefers to sell you a pill for every illy rather than a mineral for a cause. The stoning of your veins is a choice of deficiency. By choosing to restore your magnesium bisglycinate levels, you are choosing to unpetrify your body. You are choosing to protect your heart, sharpen your brain, and reclaim the performance that is your biological birthright. Don't wait for a cardiac event or a complete system failure to take action. Start the unclogging process today. Now, let's go deeper into the actual cellular mechanics. When we talk about unclogging, we are talking about the activation of the sodium-potassium pump and the calcium ATPase pump. These are the biological engines that live on the surface of every single cell in your body. Magnesium is the fuel for these pumps. Without it, your cells become congested. They hold on to toxic levels of calcium and sodium, which causes the cell to swell and become inflamed. This inflammation is the glue that allows plaque to stick to your vein walls. When you introduce high-grade magnesium bisglycinate, you are essentially cleaning out the engine. Think about the last time you felt a surge of energy. That was your mitochondria producing a molecule called ATP. But here is the secret. ATP doesn't work alone. It must be bound to a magnesium ion. To be biologically active, we call this me-ATP. If you don't have enough magnesium, you can have all the energy in the world, but your body can't use it. This is why chronic fatigue and vascular exhaustion go hand in hand. Your penile veins require an immense amount of ATP to maintain a state of relaxation. It sounds counterintuitive, but it takes more energy for a muscle to relax than it does for it to contract. This is why, when a person passes away, their muscles go into rigor mortis. They have run out of ATP, and therefore they cannot relax. Your veins are in a state of vascular rigor mortis right now, if you are magnesium deficient. They are stuck in a clamped, narrow, and stiff position. By flooding the system with magnesium bisglycinate, you are providing the unclamping energy required to let the blood through. Furthermore, we must discuss the glycine component. Glycine is an amino acid that acts as an inhibitory neurotransmitter. It calms the central nervous system. Why does this matter for your veins? Because your veins are controlled by the autonomic nervous system. When you are stressed, your body enters sympathetic mode, fight or flight. In this mode, your body shunts blood away from your non-essential organs, like your reproductive system, and moves it to your arms and legs. Magnesium bisglycinate helps shift your body into parasympathetic mode, rest, digest, and perform. This is the only state in which the veins in your pelvic floor can fully dilate. So, you aren't just getting a mineral, you are getting a neurological reset. I have seen men who struggled for a decade find relief simply by shifting their nervous system out of that constant state of high cortisol stress. Let's talk about the synergy of boron. Boron is the lost mineral of the 21st century. It is a trace mineral that works like a magnifying glass for magnesium. It extends the half-life of magnesium in your blood, and it prevents the kidneys from wasting it. But more importantly for men, boron significantly drops high-sensitivity C-reactive protein, hsCRP. This is the marker for systemic inflammation. Inflammation is what scratches the inside of your veins, creating the rough surface where calcium and fat can latch on. By taking 6 milligallons of boron alongside your magnesium, you are smoothing out the inner lining of your vessels, making them slick, so that nothing can stick to them. And we cannot forget vitamin K2, MK7. If magnesium is the worker, K2 is the foreman. K2 activates two specific proteins, osteocalcin and matrix GLA protein. Osteocalcin takes calcium and locks it into your bones. Matrix GLA protein, MGP, as we mentioned, is the janitor of the veins. If you take calcium supplements or eat a high-calcium diet without K2, you are essentially inviting those minerals to clog your penis veins. K2 is the traffic controller that ensures your veins stay clear and your bones stay strong. I want you to imagine your circulatory system as a vast network of irrigation pipes. Over the years, the water has become hard. The pipes are scaled up with lime and rust, the pressure is dropping. You can try to increase the pressure at the pump, but that will eventually burst the pipe. That is what high blood pressure is. Instead, what we are doing with this protocol is adding a softener to the water. We are dissolving the scale. We are making the pipes flexible again. This is the only way to achieve long-term, sustainable health. I'm Dr. Stephen Andrews, and I have spent my career looking for the root cause of male vascular decline. It isn't a lack of pharmaceutical drugs. It is a lack of the basic biological building blocks that the modern world has stripped away. Reclaim your health, restore your minerals, reopen your veins. The science is on your side. One final tip when you start this protocol: make sure to drink plenty of water with a pinch of sea salt. This provides the trace minerals and electrolytes that help magnesium move across the cell membrane. If you feel a slight flush or a sense of deep relaxation, that is a sign that your vascular system is finally letting go of years of tension. Stay consistent. The 90-day mark is where the magic happens. You didn't get clogged in a day, and you won't get clear in a day. But with every dose, you are one step closer to a version of yourself that you thought was gone forever. I am honored to guide you on this journey. Keep moving forward. Keep flowing. I'll see you in the next deep dive.